Hello and welcome to another edition of Currently in Quincy. I'm Joe Catalano, and on today's program we chat with Rick Doan from Interfaith Social Services here in Quincy. He's got information about this year's Feed the Hungry Gala that's coming up in the not too distant future. First though, as always, we check weather and news for you. Currently in Quincy, really nice sunshine out there, just a few high thin clouds at 70 degrees. It'll top off in the upper 70s this afternoon. I think today is the pick of the week, actually. It'll be comfortable again tonight with cloudy skies. Lows drop off into the mid-60s. Then we start to turn a little unsettled tomorrow. Expect off and on showers, maybe even some steadier rain in the afternoon. It'll be around 72 degrees. Cooler on Wednesday with a mix of sun and clouds, and cooler still on Thursday. Maybe a shower Thursday with highs only in the low 60s. Right now, sunshine, 70 degrees here in Quincy. In the news today, Quincy City Council gets back to work tonight after holding their first meeting after their summer break last Monday. The Ordinance Committee tonight is reviewing a proposal from Ward 5 City Councilor Chuck Phelan that would prohibit short-term rentals from operating in residential areas. Ward 6 City Councilor Bill Harris supports that measure. He says short-term rentals are a real problem in his district.
Disregarding everything about it, especially in Squantum. But we've had this issue in North Quincy, and along Wollaston Beach as well. So this is important. Resident A is resident A. We have to protect our neighborhoods. And I thank the folks that please support this. This is important. And I hope that this comes right out of the box and set an ordinance meeting to make sure that this locks the whole case up.
So the measure would prohibit short-term rentals on online platforms such as Airbnb or Vrbo from operating in areas zoned residential A. Short-term rentals would be defined as properties that rent for fewer than 31 days. The City Council previously did impose regulations on short-term rentals, but this amendment would prohibit them from operating in residential neighborhoods. City Council also reviewing a proposal to impose some regulations on the use of public spaces in the city, including the new Hancock Adams Common in Quincy Center. Ward 4 City Councilor Brian Palmucci says it's important to protect the public investments that have been made in the downtown and other areas.
Yes, I believe this is necessary to safeguard our public spaces. Now that we spend so much money on them, especially in the downtown area, we should establish some regulations for their use. This was my first attempt at creating some regulations. I'm happy to accept input from my colleagues as this goes through the legislative process. I don't suspect that this is the final form. Certainly open to other suggestions and input from folks. So I just asked that it be referred to committee, I guess downtown committee and ordinance.
So Palmucci's idea is to charge a fee if for-profit agencies want to use public spaces and to require them to carry liability insurance and leave a deposit in order to protect the property from any damage. Palmucci's proposal also requires that the city respect the right of free speech and public assembly in all public spaces. Quincy Board of Registrars of Voters will be meeting tomorrow to set some new voting locations for next year's state elections. City Clerk Nicole Crispo says there will be some minimal changes due to the increase in population that was reflected in the 2020 federal census.
Of new blocks coming in, new blocks of residential living. So, but we stayed within our guidelines. And I'm proud of the map. I think it's a really good, and I think it's the least amount of changes that I could actually make to keep everybody voting in their neighborhoods.
Crispo says the initial projections of 6 new precincts may have to be revisited in the year 2030, but she says there will be some minor changes beginning next year. She also says that with early voting and mail-in voting, voters should have no trouble casting ballots in the future despite any change in their polling place. City of Quincy will be getting its first Target store next month. The new store at the new Abbey apartment complex at the North Quincy T Station will be opening on Sunday, October 24th. The store is located in the second of 3 apartment buildings at that development. It will ultimately have 610 units. The first building opened earlier this year, along with a 1,500 space parking garage. The new Target will also have a Starbucks coffee shop inside. Bizzuto Development of Hingham broke ground on the Abbey in 2019. It's named in honor of First Lady Abigail Adams. Coming up, Interfaith Social Services Executive Director Rick Doan is here. We'll chat with him next. Welcome back. Really happy to welcome back in person Rick Doan from Interfaith Social Services to chat with us about what's happening over there on Adams Streets. Rick, it's great to see you.
Good to see you too.
Really
in
appreciate it.
person.
I know.
It's great.
We've chatted virtually many times over the past year and a half, but this is the first time you've stepped into our studios here, I think in 2021.
Yeah. You know, it's interesting. You mentioned previously about how the new Target is opening up.
Yes.
And that's one of our new food rescue partners.
Really?
So it's great. A new venue opens up that has food. It means they're going to need it rescued. And us and QCAP, we look forward to being there throughout the week to rescue that food.
That's great.
Make sure it gets to hungry people.
Excellent. And, you know, it's right around the corner. So.
It's great. Yeah, we love it.
So, how have you been?
Personally, good.
Yeah, good.
Family's good.
Good. Glad to hear it.
You know, holding up. It's the new normal.
Yeah.
My mom said the other day, I don't know how she went this whole time without hearing it. She said, you know, they say we're all in this together. I just heard it, and I'm like she'd heard it for the first time a couple days ago.
Yeah.
But we are, and it's been that way at Interfaith. You know,
Yeah.
it really is. Interfaith has been a microcosm of the community coming together, and really that idea of we're all in this together. So many more people reaching out for help, so many more people stepping up to help.
Yep.
It's wonderful to see, and we're glad we're there to support so many people here in Quincy and throughout the South Shore.
Yeah. Have you seen more people step up to volunteer, more people step up to donate?
Yeah, I mean, right off the bat, so many of our volunteers just didn't feel comfortable coming in anymore.
Yeah.
But it's been an ongoing challenge with volunteers the last couple Augusts. So we come into September, and it's one of our busiest times of the year.
Is it really?
We're doing sign-ups for Thanksgiving and
sure.
holiday assistance, and so there's a lot of people coming in, and it's also kids are going back to school. Parents feel more comfortable coming in because their kids aren't there, and so at that same time, in August, we have all the students go back to school.
Mm-hmm.
All the parents that could come in during the summer and volunteer are all back sort of on kid duty, and
Yes.
schedules change. So we have this decrease in volunteers every August right as our numbers go up. So it's a big need right now. Our biggest need is people who can commit to a 3-hour volunteer shift.
Okay.
That's what we need right now.
And specifically in the food pantry you're talking
Specifically in the food pantry,
Okay.
I mean, there's always need in the thrift shop as well.
Okay.
But the food pantry is where the majority of our volunteers are. So that's one of our biggest needs.
about? Okay. And thrift shop is reopened again?
Oh yeah,
Okay.
the thrift shop. We, took the opportunity since it was closed during the pandemic. We're like, well, when else are we going to have this opportunity again? And we completely remodeled it.
Okay.
So took out walls, put down new floor, completely, redid it, and it's been going great. We're so grateful to everybody who donates and shops. It's where all my clothes come from.
Well, you have no excuse. It's right around the corner from
It
your
is-
office.
Well, and all the volunteers know my sizes, and they know I'm going to buy it.
That's right.
So yeah, it's going really well, and
Good.
People need to know that's a fundraiser for us.
Right, yes.
And it's not a service, and we're very grateful for everybody who supports us through that.
Okay, so donations of clothing also required?
All household goods,
Okay.
except for large furniture.
Okay.
We can't take the big TVs and couches, and please don't leave them because we
Okay.
have to pay to get rid of them.
Gotcha.
That's a bad Monday morning when you get there and there's
Furniture
all this
piled up
furniture.
outside?
Yeah.
Okay.
But everything else, all other household goods, we'll take it.
All right.
Yeah.
Good to know.
Just go to the website to make an appointment
Of
to
course.
drop off.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How about the counseling center? Is that back in person or are you still remote?
We are.
Back in person?
You know, some therapists have chosen, some haven't. Some clients want it, some clients don't.
Yeah.
And so we are doing, some in-person sessions in the office.
Okay.
Everybody has to be masked.
Okay.
Because it is a medical facility and that still is part of the state's, mandate.
Okay.
So yeah, but more people than ever.
Really?
Every month we are serving more people than ever the previous month through the counseling center. And one of the reasons for that is not just that people perhaps are feeling more comfortable to reach out for help, but we've broken down a lot of the barriers to reaching out for help.
Stopping the stigma, right?
That's the idea.
Yeah.
But also, it used to be if somebody called up and said, hey, I'm reaching out for help.
Mm-hmm.
We operate a sliding fee scale based on income. So that, depending on what people's income, they don't have to pay too much money. And if they have insurance or not have insurance, they can still get help.
Okay.
We did away with that income in their that conversation in their first call. So when they call and ask for help,
Yeah.
we say, absolutely, let's get you in to see somebody. And we
Period.
give them the first 4 sessions for free.
Oh, you do? Okay.
So everybody who reaches out for help can get it.
Wow.
Instead of, I hear you're struggling. What's your income?
Gotcha. Yeah.
That's not.
Yeah.
That's not the kind of service, and we don't want to show people that. That's not what we care about.
Yeah. We're sorry you're having issues, but show us your credit card.
Exactly.
Yeah. Interesting. Okay.
And so
that was
what
one of the
we've been doing.
barriers then, you think?
It was
Yeah.
because people would have to overcome so much, and telling them you don't have to worry about that. And some people only do 4 sessions.
Okay.
And that's fine.
Okay.
That's why we fundraise to support that
Yeah.
and to help when people are in crisis.
Have you had to bring on more counselors to handle the influx?
We
you
have brought in some more therapists, and we're always looking for more therapists
All
too.
right.
It's one of the things we're always looking for the people who are the right fit for our organization. So, always put the plugs in. We're looking for therapists.
Go for it, Rick. Yeah.
We're looking for a bookkeeper.
Okay. All right.
Somebody with nonprofit bookkeeping experience.
Okay.
These days, anything we can do to get the word out about hiring.
Well, I mean, there's the worker shortage in all aspects of industry. Why should you be different?
And it's also, they're not remote positions.
Right.
And that's what a lot of people want.
Yes.
And I understand that. But we're on the front lines, and we got to be there.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah.
Feed the Hungry is back.
Yes.
A little different, but still, it's back.
It is.
Yeah.
It's, the same elements that we've always loved about this event. It's our most important fundraiser.
Right. Yeah.
So Fuji is coming, and they're doing tasting, and Victory Point, and great restaurants, Pearl and Lime, and we got Widowmaker and great breweries. They're going to be doing tastings, but everybody will be wearing masks.
Okay.
In between eating,
All right.
and everybody has to be vaccinated
Oh, really?
if they're going to attend the event.
Oh, okay.
And we have a software, a company that we're working with, so that before somebody attends the event, they upload their vaccination card.
Yep.
And this software actually compares it against state records.
Okay.
To ensure that they're legit.
Okay. And do they have to show an ID?
Well, no, that the software takes care of all that
Okay.
and verifies the individual, and they come in and just show check.
Gotcha.
All set.
Oh, I see. Okay. So this is all done before the
all
event.
done before, and that's
Okay.
why in the past we'd say, "Hey, show up the day of, no problem."
Right.
Not anymore.
Okay.
And also we've limited it to 250 guests.
Because typically it's what, 500?
Yeah.
Okay.
And part of that process, we want to make sure people feel safe.
Yes.
We're also doing it hybrid.
Yes.
So when we'll have the dine around reception and games and tastings in between mask wearing, and then when we go live at Granite Links, it will go out via Zoom.
Okay.
and people who don't feel comfortable being there can still tune in
All right.
and be part of the event. And we're trying to make it fun, and we got a game that they're going to be able to participate in, even though they can't be there. And
Online, they can participate? Okay.
yeah,
All
yeah.
right.
We're going to send out the game piece and make it fun and
All
do a
right.
spin the wheel kind of thing.
Okay. Folks are seeing the information now, December 3rd.
Yep.
That's typically when you hold this, right?
It is
early December.
Early December, but don't go to the website yet. Tickets are going to go live in the next week or two.
All right.
And the reason is we had been holding off on, we wanted to make sure, is this going to be safe?
Yeah.
Can we open up these tickets? Can we say this? So if somebody really wanted, they could give us a call.
Okay.
And we could get them a ticket.
All right. Because usually it starts in July.
Normally we are.
Yeah.
And we've been, our sponsors have been coming in, but it's been so tricky
Yeah.
saying, yes, you're going to sponsor an event, but is
That-
it going to be
that
virtual?
might not
Is it
happen.
gonna-
Yeah.
And we have made a decision. We are going to have this be in person.
Okay.
And tried to be as safe as possible with that.
Sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
What do you hope to raise? What do you typically raise in a
We
non-pandemic year? And
Well, last year we had the Flatley Foundation came in with $100,000
I
sponsorship.
remember. Yeah.
That was amazing.
Yeah.
So we hope they do that again.
Okay.
If anybody from the Flatley Foundation is watching.
Absolutely.
But if not, we're hoping for over 300,000.
Okay.
That's our goal.
All right.
That's our hope. This is our biggest night of the year for us. So we're hoping for it.
And this is all for the food pantry, Rick? Is it?
Well, what we say is people are hungry for more than just food.
Yeah. Okay.
So we say feed the hungry. People are hungry for food, hungry for mental health counseling, hungry for housing. Because that's what we do. Homelessness prevention, our mental health counseling center. But the reality is the food pantry is our largest program. And when we have a fundraiser, the bulk of that is going to our largest
course,
program.
yeah.
And we do have points in the evening when people give specific amounts for specific things.
Okay.
And that money is earmarked for those things.
Okay.
Yeah.
Can you maybe give us some numbers just to give us an idea of your food donations over the past year and how they compare to years past?
So pre-pandemic,
Yep.
we were distributing about 4,000 bags of assistance every month.
Okay.
And the reason I say assistance and not food is because we distribute hygiene items, diapers, feminine hygiene products, pet food from the South Shore Pet Food Pantry.
Yes.
So about 4,000 bags of assistance pre-pandemic
Per month.
per month.
Okay.
It's 7,000 now.
Is it really?
So the need has gone up. Our ability to distribute has gone up as well. But yeah, back there was a day when it used to be busy when we'd serve 20 households.
Wow.
And now it's 60, 70, 80 households. The need is there, and we're grateful for the community's response to help out.
Are you one of the largest on the South Shore, would you say?
We are.
You're
Yeah,
the
we are.
largest,
We're
yeah.
one of the largest on the South Shore. And we work closely with all the other emergency food programs. We work with QCAP, with the Weymouth Food Pantry, with Salvation Army, with Germantown. It's really a community because none of us could do it on our own.
Sure.
And the idea when we get a whole bunch of rescued food that we can't distribute, that our freezers are full, we call up Father Bill's, we call up QCAP, and we're able to distribute it. When they get excess, it's just wonderful to be able to have a network of like-minded agencies who care about, compassion and not competition.
That way it doesn't go to waste also, right? 'Cause
Absolutely.
The need is
Yeah.
there, so you'd hate to have to just, waste it rather than give it to somebody who could use it.
Yeah.
Everybody knows going to the grocery store these days, everything costs a whole lot more.
Yeah.
I'm sure it's impacted you as well.
Our single largest expense is fruit and vegetables for
Really?
the food pantry. One of our largest expenses. After staffing.
Oh, of course.
We
yeah.
got 2 drivers on the road, and we got a food pantry director, and they're doing food rescue. But yeah, fresh fruits and vegetables. And also, we have made a commitment to having more culturally appropriate fruits
Okay.
and vegetables. And so we have bok choy, we have daikon radish, we have things that all of our clients can use. And that's one of the commitments that we've really, and with the Arbella Insurance Foundation, they've given us some funding that's made that possible for us to purchase more culturally appropriate fresh produce.
Okay, that's good to know.
Yeah.
So are gift cards still helpful, would you say? Or
Everything's helpful.
Yeah.
Seriously. Donations on our website, gift cards, food, household items for the thrift shop, hygiene supplies always are needed. And when I say that, people think diapers, which are needed,
Sure.
especially size 5
Yeah.
and 6,
Okay.
feminine hygiene, but soap, shampoo,
The basics, yeah.
deodorant. Our clients can't buy those things with SNAP. They can't buy them
Oh,
with WIC.
interesting. Okay.
And so that's one of the things we try to provide.
Okay, good to know as well. The eviction moratorium has since expired. Have you seen it impact your clients?
We have seen it.
Okay.
As far as the huge deluge of evictions, it hasn't quite started yet.
Okay.
But everybody's bracing for that
Really?
and what that means. But for right now, we're holding tight and helping the people as they come across, and glad that we can do it.
Right. Did Interfaith receive any assistance from the federal pandemic relief?
Through the
programs?
city.
Through the city.
We did.
Okay.
The city had, Recovery Act funding.
Yes.
And they've been great partners all along, whether it's traffic issues or whether it's making sure we have enough money for food and things like that. We're so grateful for the city's partnership, and when they got that Recovery Act funding, sending some our way so we could purchase food and other items for the organization.
Okay. How's the Greater Boston Food Bank holding up during this time? Because I know that's probably the main place you go to get your food, right?
Half of our food
Yeah.
comes from there.
Yeah.
They have staffing challenges.
No. Yeah.
Yeah. And the other thing that's very visible these days is mass CAS. Everything that's been going on with that population.
Yes.
That is the food bank's street. That
Okay.
is, our driver has to be careful not to hit any people that are right there camped out
Interesting.
across the street from the food bank. So that has created a different dynamic. And it impacts what we're doing. But the food bank always has struggled. They've been struggling recently, like many other businesses, to hire. And it hasn't slowed down the amount of food, but we feel for them as one of our closest partners.
Yes.
And we hope that they're able to stay fully staffed so that we can get that federal and state food from them.
Quincy has changed a lot in just a short period of time, as you well know. Are you doing any kind of outreach to the new people of Quincy to let them know you're there,
Yeah.
that you offer assistance, or you could use assistance, one or the other?
Well, one of the things we've done is we have a Chinese language interpreter
Interesting.
on staff in the food pantry every day.
Okay.
And that is not something that we had. And part of that is the city of Quincy. They're using some federal funding that they receive to pay for an interpreter that they send out to us and other organizations throughout the week. And we are grateful for his services. But it was only a portion of our shifts that were being covered.
Yep.
So we teamed up with Boston Chinatown Neighborhood Center and reached out to the Arbella Insurance Foundation, and they were able to help provide the funding for an interpreter
That's great.
that we have on site. And so now every shift we're able to help our clients to a degree that we couldn't in the past, and express the compassion that we always wanted to, but that was frustrated because of language barriers.
Sure.
Yeah.
Great to know. Again, Feed the Hungry, a hybrid this year, right?
Hybrid, but highly fun. Putting the fun in fundraiser.
December 3rd at Granite Links and on Zoom.
Yes.
All right.
Yeah.
Anything else we should let folks know about, Rick?
Thank you. It's a thing I'll always say.
Yeah.
When you ask me, I'm always going to say it. It's my favorite 2 words. Grateful for the city of Quincy, all the volunteers that come in to help us out, all the people that have stepped up since the pandemic began, and hopefully will continue to step up because the need has far from ended.
Sure. It's great to see you.
Likewise.
Yes.
Yeah.
In person.
Yeah.
Even though we're both a year older now.
I know. Doesn't look it. We look great.
Thanks again, Rick.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Another quick break. We'll be back to recap the forecast for you in just a moment. Definitely the pick of the week in the weather department. Today, sunshine, just a few clouds. The temperatures in the comfortable upper 70s down to the mid 60s with cloudy skies this evening. Unsettled tomorrow, showers and some steadier rain in the low 70s, and then cooling off toward the end of the week. Thanks again to Rick Doan for joining us today. Thank you to our crew. Thank you for watching. Friday here on the show, Dove, domestic violence ended in Quincy. Please go to our website anytime. If you go to qatv.org, you'll find our latest programs, news and information, video on demand, live streaming, a whole lot more. For all of us here at QATV, I'm Joe Catalano. Have a great week.